Welcome to the X Fan Show of 2023. How are you, sir? Hello? Is there a reason why I'm looking at the top of your head? Hello? I'm guessing Arlington cannot hear me. Can you hear me, dude? What are you doing, bro? Hello? Arlington. There you are. Hi. What are you doing, pal?
Wonder why I couldn't hear nothing.
Oh, well, quit playing with it.
So
we got a lot to. Oh, I don't know, but we got a lot to talk about, bro. A lot to talk about.
Yeah.
So let's first and foremost get this out of the way. Big thoughts and prayers to Damar Hamlin. Hamlin, if anybody had watched the game last night, we witnessed why football is so real and why it might be possibly next to hockey, one of the most dangerous sports to play. Not really going to talk about it. We're not going to show the video, anything like that. But, I mean, it just shows you how precious life is in this new year. And our thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family and the entire Buffalo Bills and the entire Cincinnati fan base. What happened? If you haven't watched it, don't worry about it. Man suffered cardiac arrest on the football field. So it shows you how much this game is bigger than how much football is just bigger than a person's life. The good thing with the XFL is they hired the doctor lady, which I will find her name later, to talk about players' health and safety and stuff like that. So it's important. So let's see if the XFL uses the things that they've been preaching about, wanting to have safer play and healthier play for all players on the field. Let's see if that really means something to the XFL after because they tweeted out, thoughts and prayers to him and his family. Other than that, that's where we're going to leave it at. Thoughts and prayers. Hopefully the man makes a full recovery. That's what I'm praying for. So if you guys got a chance, go on there and say, congratulate, that your thoughts and prayers are going out to Mr. Hamlin. All right. Other than that, Arlington, let's get back to it.
Yeah, definitely, man. I want to say a little bit too, man, because I know I tried my best not to touch on it a little bit. There was some comments that was made, by Skip Bayless, and a lot of people were saying, "Oh, he didn't say anything wrong. Why are you saying it in the first place?" You got to remember, Skip is likes to be controversial. He likes to say things that will get a reaction, right? And so what he said, a lot of people saying he wasn't wrong for saying it. Yeah, he was. He was wrong for saying that. And that was the timing of all of that. And granted, the XFL, we're talking about the NFL, but the XFL, who said they're devoted to player safety, this was something that a lot of times, no, you don't see it often. You don't see it often at all. And for him to say that in that context, it was like, you could have kept that for real. Don't say anything. When you say something that gives the effect, let me put it that way, that you care more about the game than the players that play in the game, that's a problem. That's a problem, huge problem. And one thing is for sure, man, is you got to understand, it was like what Ryan Clark said on ESPN yesterday, is that they go to war all the time, that they say those type of things, man. And they, as we bring in our intern Kincaid into the mix.
He didn't get fired. We brought him back for the new year.
But my thing is, you got to be careful, man, because, like, dude, you don't know. Because he's still in critical condition going on right now as we're talking.
That is true.
And he had cardiac arrest. He had a heart attack. He's 24
on the
years
field.
Old.
My age, man.
And so
See?
it becomes if he dies, guess what? It's a whole nother ball game after that.
Yeah, Kincaid. Yeah, you're right, Arlington. It is Kincaid. We're talking about Damar Hamlin.
Damar Hamlin, yeah, what happened yesterday.
Yeah, we want to give our thoughts and prayers. What's your take on it? Being a 24-year-old kid, his age. Well, what's your thoughts and takes on it?
Man, well,
real quick,
I've seen a lot of injuries happen. Especially on that football field. Cincinnati's home stadium. I know Ryan Shazier had his injury where he left paralyzed, and he had to basically quit football because of how bad the injury was. A lot of stuff has happened there, specifically, and it's just something we need to take into account. Player safety is definitely something that's very important. But never have I ever seen somebody collapse to the ground like he did after he stood up. It was honestly just shocking, because usually you would see somebody give like a thumbs up if they're good, after, drastic injury, but none of that happened. So I don't think we've ever seen anything like this, especially on like a, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a nationally broadcasted game, such as Monday Night Football, in anything like this. So I was just kind of shocked. I know H was talking about it, what Skip said, Skip Bayless, what he was talking about after the game with his comments, and he tried to take it down to apologize. But once we care about the boards and the players, then that becomes an issue. So I'm all
exactly.
So
yeah, exactly. And I get it. It's a major game. It's a major game, but you could physically see that these guys were physically and mentally shaken. You saw players on both sides of the field crying. Andrew asked, I wonder if he had some undiagnosed condition that was triggered by the hit to the chest. Look, I've played baseball for years, and I've seen guys get hit in the chest by a baseball. Young guys, when I was playing that were, 14, 15 years old, and their heart stops. It's just one of those freak accidents that happen. And you got to think, these are highly trained athletes that are constantly moving, and that heart is pumping, and you take a hit like that so sudden, because these hits are so hard, which looked like a routine hit. But as you go back, and if you've seen the video, the shoulder of T. Higgins was right at the heart. And when they landed, it pushed in enough to where the heart went into quivers instead of actual pumping. Now, we're speaking of player safety, which what I really like a lot here is that the XFL hired Kerry Gordon as their vice president and health and safety. Now, this was back in May of last year, which is really weird to say last year to stuff. You know what I'm saying? And Happy New Year's to you too, Mayor. So in this role, and this is the reason why we bring this up, because here's what her main role is going to be. In this role, Gordon will be responsible of all aspects of the league's health and safety program, which includes incentives to establish holistic well-being both on and off the field. As a liaison between the league and the teams, she will establish and maintain a strategic relationship between physicians, hospital administrations, trainers, and athletes in all 8 markets to ensure that the XFL policies and procedures are being upheld on a team level. Now, we ask, why is she qualified for this job? Well, let's look. She joins the league bringing 21 years of experience as a licensed athletic trainer, including 15 seasons consulting in the NHL with the Eagles, Chiefs, and Rams, 1 season in the NBA with the Clippers, 11 full-time years with Circus Olay. She began her career in 2000 as a seasonal intern athletic director with the LA Extreme, one of the 8 original XFL inaugural championships. She is a NATA licensed athletic trainer, an NSCA certified strength and conditioning specialist, and an NCTBM licensed massage therapist. She earned her bachelor's degree in sports injury management at the University.
All right, that's enough. I don't need to read all that, man. We're done. You don't need to read no more, man. Because the more you read, man, the more you You making me feel dumb just sitting there listening to you read it, man. Come on, man.
I
Get
know,
off.
right?
Get off, dude.
So
Stop.
here's what it is. Let's hope that that this doesn't happen on an XFL field, right?
Yeah.
Right. Let's hope. And I mean, right here, like Andrew said, thank God that they had an AED machine there as well. My brother-in-law's heart stopped during an indoor soccer game, and they were able to save him with an AED machine. You're absolutely right. And we're not. I mean, and this is really all we're going to touch on it. And the reason why we brought up the Michelle or Kerry Gordon is that these are the type of things that the XFL are going to do to help stop this. It's not always going to happen. But she's going to be that type of person that's going to help stop this. Hopefully,
and
that we don't ever see
here's my
this
thing
again.
with this: if it's to stop a game, heaven forbid that it does, stop the game. Stop the game. If that means it happens in the XFL game, stop it. That means it's going to be done. No, we're not going to sit here and say, well, you guys need to finish the game and this, that, and the other. It may have playoff implications. Who gives a damn?
Well, and look, and we're not going to speculate on who said what and who did what. We're not going to bash the NFL. Here's what we do know, and this is all we do know. We do know that he is at the University of Cincinnati. We do know that he is sedated right now, and he's been intubated. He's on a ventilator. They're running tests. As of right now, the man has survived. The man has survived. That's all we do know. Thoughts and prayers from myself here at the X Fan Show. Thoughts and prayers go out to his family.
Yeah.
That's all I'm
definitely.
saying.
My thoughts and prayers go out to his family too, because it's his livelihood.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a potential that he may not be able to play ever again.
Yeah,
which that'd be okay.
Yeah.
That'd be okay as long as the man's alive.
Exactly. That's the point.
As long as the man's alive.
I just don't like it that we as fans have gotten to I guess babied as a way of saying that. That's not the word I really want to use, but that's what the first thing that came to mind was
spoiled.
That we this is what we're used to. This is what we're used to seeing. Guys getting back out there on the field, that type of thing, right? And I like, how's that going? Like how we talking about it now? How does that impact the XFL now as they get in the season? About to be dropping in a month.
Well, it's funny that you say that because, you know, let's talk about the schedule for a minute, okay? Let's use the NFL. Again, let's use the NFL as the example. Now we have a game that's having to be rescheduled under terrible circumstances. We didn't get a schedule for the playoff week until 4:00 yesterday. Now this happens, it changes. This is a league that has been around for 100 years, but we're not complaining about that. But yet, as
nobody said nothing about the schedule from them. Nobody said anything.
But us XFL fans, we're complaining about a schedule on a startup league where they're still working things in motion, and we're complaining about a workout. We're complaining about a schedule.
Week 18 was not dropped.
No, it wasn't.
You knew the teams, but you didn't know where they were, what time they were playing. None of that.
Not until 4:00. Not until 4:00 Central Standard Time.
Determined. So y'all complaining about, well, they don't have a schedule out yet. I get it. Y'all trying to put plans together. The same thing with the NFL is what they're trying to do themselves. They're trying to get that together, and they had to do it just like that. But my thing is, they also had a same dilemma. Or, excuse me, not same dilemma, but similar dilemma, just like what the XFL has currently right now. So at this point, as we're looking at it right now on January the 3rd, we still got what? 46 days, 47 days away now? Somebody know the number. Everybody knows the number when you can start counting down. Come on now. But my
thing is, you go by.
Depends on who you go by. I go by what the XFL is going to put out. Okay, so my thing is, we're looking at it now as we're getting closer and closer to. We're getting closer to the beginning of the season, and people bitching. Like, I understand it's livelihood. Like, I'm ready to go to these games. You know, I'm trying to get my flight information and things like that. Same thing that was happening with the NFL. Because remember, they flex games too.
Yeah.
So that impacts people and when they can go to their games.
Now we talk. You go on, Kincaid.
Oh no, I wasn't saying anything. I'm just listening.
So let's look at this. And I know that the Vegas thing is the big thing and all that. You know what I'm saying? I reached out today before the show. I reached out to the Las Vegas mayor's office. Okay, Mayor Carol Goodman. Did get a return back. I'd seen some interesting articles. One about her and the Cashman Field thing. Right now, let's not remember this lady and her husband are the first ever husband-wife duo that are back-to-back mayors of a major metropolitan city, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
This lady she was instrumental in getting the Golden Knights to Vegas. Okay. She's been instrumental in getting the Raiders to Vegas. Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. She's instrumental in revamping Cashman Field to turn it into a soccer stadium that's going to fit about 25,000 people in it. What's to say that she might not be the holdup for the Las Vegas Vipers having somewhere to play? Now, I'm not saying she is. I'm just saying, what if she is the major factor? Because here's the one thing we do know about Vegas. Vegas has a lot of politics. And it's about anything, right? Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's been controlled by the mob for years and all that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not saying this is a mob thing. But they're like, she's wanting to take the Cashman Field and she's wanting to build this soccer stadium / football stadium. She's also wanting to put an entertainment district around Cashman Field. She's also wanting to put a high-tech medical facility at Cashman Field. So what if she is the holdup with the XFL and in Vegas? Because if you do some digging, guess who she has some ties to? Redbird Capital.
So my thing is this. I don't think she's holding it up. I think she's more like it's something else. I don't think it's a holdup because she's trying to help it, not hurt it. Because that's what it sounds like. It's coming from you that it's more hurting than it is helping. I think
I'm not saying. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think what it is is she's wanting the best thing for Vegas, is what she's saying. Listen, right?
As of right now, it's looking like it's the sports hub. Like, sir, you and I got a chance to see the Caesars sports book. We saw it, and you saw how massive that bad boy is. It is not a game. It's not a joke. So I'm like, at this point right now, we're looking at it. Vegas is becoming literally a sports hub. Mm-hmm. In the future, baseball is going to be there. There soon could be an NBA team there in Vegas, right? You already got the football and the hockey team. So, and then you're getting the soccer, right? And then you're getting Formula One. So you're going to sit there and tell me that you're going to hold this up more than anything? No, you trying to make everything happen so it can be pushed.
See, like here, so Brian says Oscar Goldman was an awesome mayor and he was a mobbler. It could be the gaming committee being the ones hold it up. You're right. It could be. Andrew says right here, if it has gone this long without a venue in Vegas, they should just have them play at a hub this season. That I mean, again,
looking at that, had them playing at the hub. They are looking. The league is looking at it like this: we're gonna go until we can't no more. So that means if we going down to the 11th hour and trying to get a venue, like I have a feeling that the hub is their back pocket thing that they're keeping. Like that's that little item they're keeping in their back pocket just in case they need to use it. The card that they don't need to use right now. So they're just holding off. So I think that idea is still there, but my thing is they're not going to use it unless they have to. Now we can't rush them to say, okay, go ahead and use the card so that way it can be impacted. They're going to take as long as they want. Now I know that sounds wild because it impacts the fans, because there are fans that want to go to Vegas and catch them at a game. But if they can't, that means things start changing. That means cancel. If you have the flights get canceled, you already know how bad it is with Southwest. No disrespect to those that work for Southwest. No one's what it's been like. You know what I mean? Come on.
Yeah.
Let's keep it real. And then you having Frontier making flash sales.
Yeah,
because
right.
they
Exactly.
want people to take those flights. So right now, the XFL knows all of these things. They know them all.
Oh, okay.
It's about those cookies. Remember those cookies that we talked about?
Look, actually, Arlington, I'm glad you said that. Because if you recall, when we fired Kincaid and then rehired him back, I had made a lot of crazy comments before.
When is there not a day when you don't make them?
Well, that is true. When is there days that I don't make them? Okay. So let me just pull this up real quick for you guys. Now it's funny that you say that the XFL.
No, Andrew, no. I told you how they cooking them. I told you how they're making these.
Because I'm about ready to bust that overcook. Put it up there. Put that comment up there, Arlington.
I'm telling you now, man. Listen,
can you tell me if I'm losing my mind?
This is 200 degrees, and it's just been sitting there.
Look, so I announced. What day did I put this out? I put this out on December 31st, right? So here's something. I noticed something, and I'm going to go to each. So I noticed that DJ and Danny have never worn the same outfit twice, right? So the question is, and these latest announcements been pre-recorded during the draft, which again, I knew they were, right? I knew that they were pre-recorded, but I just asked the question. Now let me show you the dates. So here's the Rock's kickoff, 50 days till the kickoff, right?
Mm-hmm.
This was done on December 30th. Now, mind you, we're going from December 31st when I posted this, right? Look at the outfit DJ's wearing. You see it?
Okay.
So the next picture I posted was a video. Now, mind you, this is off of the XFL's website. That was 44 days ago. Look at the outfit they're wearing.
Correct.
Okay. So then, let's go back to 16 days ago. Look at the outfit they're wearing.
Okay.
And then 37 days ago, look at the outfit they were wearing.
Can we go back to what? What was it? 3 days ago?
Which one?
3 days ago?
Well, that's funny that you said that, Arlington, because I'm going to do that. So let me get back.
Three days ago, for Dick Clark's New Year's Rocket Eve, 2 people showed up.
And hold on, I have it right here for you. Have it right here for you. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah, pull it up.
Now this was 3 days ago. Let me go back to the beginning of it.
Everybody, Dwayne Johnson here. I'm Danny Garcia.
Am I losing my mind, or is those the same outfits?
Absolutely not, sir. And we got a lot going on then, but
am I losing my mind, or is those the same outfits?
I have to literally take my glasses off and wipe my eyes. Am I seeing my eyes?
But it gets better, Arlington, because if you remember, I said that The Rock and Danny would show up on New Year's Eve, not knowing all this was already done. And what did I say would drop on New Year's Eve, Arlington? And you said I was crazy, right?
Yeah.
I said that the XFL is going to drop the XFL ball on Times Square, and it's going to have Danny Garcia's signature on it. Did I not say that? And what did you say, Arlington? You said I was crazy. Now, Kincaid, I want you to point. I'm going to pull something up.
Yeah.
And I want you to tell me what this is right here that The Rock is holding.
An XFL sign. I mean, yeah, XFL is. I guess it's a signature on the bottom. It's kind of hard to see on my screen.
Yeah, it has Danny Garcia's name at the bottom.
Yeah.
And you know what? And you know what day that was? December 31st. So here's the question. Here's the answer to all of this. This has all been in the works for months and months and months. Look, I'm going to give you another little tidbit, okay? Big ups to Jay Noakes. I know I've had my problems with Jay Noakes. I know I've trashed
What problems,
Jay
man? What are you talking about? What problems have you had with him?
No, but again, yes, Kevin, Arlington, put that up. Put it up. Put that comment up. Put this comment up right here.
Stroking your little ego. Stroking your little ego. Stroking your little ego. I'm telling you, that's all he's doing.
Big ups. Look, Arlington, because me and you talked, we're like, hey, where's the Dreaming with the X show been for months, right? Jay Noakes, congratulations to Jay Noakes, announces today that he is the social media manager, content manager for the San Antonio Brahmas. Jay was always on Twitter talking about XFL and then disappeared for months. In months, right?
Usually that's how XFL people have to be. They can't say anything.
There we go. Yes, right here. I bet you they do have them on, even in the hype videos. Because here's what we've told you guys from day one, since this ownership has taken over. This is a movie production company running a football league. So it makes sense for The Rock and Danny to do all of those grandioso videos, right? It makes sense for them to do them when they're all in one. I mean, The Rock, we all know The Rock has a crazy schedule, right? So again, I would go back to how long has Jay Noakes been working for the XFL now? Because he just got announced. He announced it today. We've seen it. Have we not seen it? That these people have been working behind the scenes for months before it was able for them to announce they worked for the XFL?
I don't know, brother. I don't know the answer to that question. I don't know.
It's all written scripts. That is.
I'm just saying. Right?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Well, this is why.
God, no. God, no, Brian. No.
This is why some people think like leagues are scripted, man. Because people think they already have like stuff in the works, already things preset for it to kind of just be revealed in the future and stuff. That's why, when it comes to NFL, you just see how many people are saying, how many people are saying the NFL's rigged with some of the stuff they've done, just because of how everything's already like predetermined.
Now listen.
So I mean, I've seen a lot of stuff with it, and I'm just like, man, like I'm listening to it too, so I'm just like, oh wow, that so,
I mean, it makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
I mean, I don't know if you heard the interview with I think Dwight Clark. I don't know, Dwight Smith. He had an interview with some people before Super Bowl 55. So it was the Bucks. They had an interview and they were asking him questions. And they were just basically asking, what do you think the game's gonna be like? And he basically went on to say, I don't think it's real. I think a lot of it's gonna be based on what Vegas wants and stuff. They said they already have stuff predetermined. They already have the winners. They already have people etched in stone, for what they want to happen. And he already said that, the Chiefs are gonna blow this one and give it to Brady because this is how they want it to work out. First year in Tampa Bay, perfect year for COVID year to have a home Super Bowl. This is during COVID. What more would you want than Brady winning a Super Bowl? So, and if you listen to that interview, man, I was picking up on stuff, and I was just like, man, I rewatched a few games too, and I'm just like, dude, I don't know, man.
So here's the question then. Now with brother Hogzak, we talked about that earlier. He is in critical but stable condition in the local University of Cincinnati hospital. So as of right now, he's doing okay. Flame Wingman says, because he put underneath it, if that would be great if they already had everything and everybody set and hired for months ago. Listen, you can go back and look on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. They've had these people in place for a while now. Very simply had these people in place. I'm just saying. So I mean, you know, we talk about the scripting, how people say, oh, this stuff is all rigged. Watch what happens now. The Buffalo Bills wins the Super Bowl because of what happened to Damar Hamlin.
I'm telling you, I mean, we can go back to some of the years, man.
And I'd be okay with that because I like the Bills. As long as the Chiefs don't win, I'm happy.
I low-key thought they were just going to do last year, the Bengals and the Niners in the Super Bowl. I thought that was going to be the matchup because those are the only teams that have ever played. Or the Niners are the only team the Bengals have ever played in the Super Bowl because I think they played them twice. And I think they're trying to do it the third time.
I know once for sure.
Yeah, I have to look it up, look at the Bengals history, but I'm with this year.
What the hell is going on here?
What's up?
What?
Why are we talking about the NFL? I don't give a damn about them.
Oh. Okay, well then let's get back to the XFL. Supplemental draft was on January.
Yo, his face.
Did you just call a tangent and then just veer all the way off?
Yeah, I brought us back on the topic because you.
No, I had to bring because I had to shut you up.
You didn't shut me up. You shut our intern up.
No,
who's just laughing at us.
Because you was the one that started the stuff.
Okay, anyways.
No, you started.
Okay, do you want to get to the supplemental draft or not?
I guess so.
Are you sure? Would you like to talk about it?
I thought that's what we were here for. That's what it said in the description.
So now if you go to XFL's page, right, team pages, they have the full rosters up. And they have the reserved players on the roster. Now, it's awful funny. What?
I'm so happy to see one of those names that's out there, and I'm so glad. I'm
all right, well, that's the team I'll go to first.
Himself.
All right, let's go with it then, shall we?
The biggest name in the supplemental draft was the one that Stephen A. was so adamant messing with the entire time while he was in the NFL. Josh Gordon.
Yep.
I'm so happy to see Josh Gordon trying to get himself together and wanting to play in the XFL. Right. And him going to the Seattle Sea Dragons. I think it was DiNucci. DiNucci was on Twitter that was saying he was excited because he couldn't wait to play with him.
He was.
Those two are going to go up. Yeah, those two are going to go up.
And what is he now? 32, 33 years of age now? And so
yes.
So he's obviously wants to play football still, right? And you got a guy in June Jones that is running the offense of that team. Having a Josh Gordon like that would be instrumental to that Seattle roster. And I'm hoping that because here's my thing. When they talked to Martavius Bryant, you knew how I felt about it. When they first announced it, I'm like, is he serious about playing? He said he was. The same way I feel about Josh Gordon. Is he serious about playing? That was my thing. And if he is, then that's dynamic for Seattle. And here's another thing, another name that came across for Arlington was De'Veon Smith. De'Veon Smith led the XFL in those 5 games in rushing for the Vipers. And so he's playing.
It's funny that you say that, right?
Right.
So because this is done by the sportsgamblingpodcast.com, right? And this is a lot of people compare this guy to me, XFL Jim. They say we're about as good as crazy as he ranks according to the gambling and the XFL power rankings, right? He ranks them like this. So let me get to it. And then you guys let me know what you think
So now I
of
have to
these.
go.
So here we go.
What are we looking at in particular?
Well, this is how he's got them ranked. This is the betting stance of how they got them ranked. Okay. So Orlando Guardians, the coaching staff, he gives them a 1 out of 8 logo score. I'm not even going to worry about that. So he's got the Orlando Guardians ranked number 8, and he's got the Arlington Renegades ranked as number 7. This is from
Now,
like I said,
okay, wait, pause. Is 8
Mhm.
out of 8 meaning a good score, or is that bad? Like, how does that label up? Like,
Oh, one's the best and eight is
1 is the best and 8 is the worst?
yeah.
No, I think you would go. I think it would be it's 1 out of. It'd be like a 1 out of 10.
So when you're doing the rankings, you're going and they talking about 8 out of 8 because and I don't see it. No, because he has.
He's saying they have them ranked as the best coaching staff.
I'm reading right now what I'm seeing. The logo part. He said it doesn't even give a star. That's not a real logo. So it's a low score. So 1 is low for them, and 8 is the high. Okay?
Correct. Now,
That's how I'm
Andrew,
reading.
this was done on November 6th. Now, this would
And this
change
was-
because of. I'm just going by the earliest thing that I've seen. Okay.
So this is from
Okay.
our friend XFL Jim, right? Okay.
Yes, from over at sportsgamblingpodcast.com.
Okay. Keep going.
Okay.
Sea Dragons.
So we got the Seahawks ranked as Sea Dragons ranked as number 6, the Defenders ranked at number 5, the Brahmas ranked at number 4, Vipers ranked at number 3, Roughnecks ranked at number 2, and the Battlehawks
Really?
ranked as number 1.
Really?
Now,
Really?
now this was before the draft. Now, here's another one.
Okay.
Now here
Really?
so I kind of agree.
I bet you do. I bet you do.
Hey,
I
Rob-
bet you do.
We're all just start saying
I
really.
smell the bias off of you right now, dude. I really smell it. Usually I would be right there with you, but I'm not. I'm not.
Okay,
I
listen.
smell the
If
stinky
anybody
bias.
look. As much as I love my Battlehawks,
You had to make an adjustment.
yeah, as much as I love the Battlehawks, they're not the number 1 ranked team. They're not. I hate to say it, they're not. In my opinion, the number 1 ranked team is the Seattle Sea Dragons because of that offense they got. Now look,
You
I
always
mean,
said
don't
it
get me
because
wrong.
of June Jones, though. That's what makes it so.
Look,
That's what makes it so crazy. to me,
okay,
man.
here's
Is that y'all basing
here's an
all this
initial.
off June Jones.
So now I just found another one from December 30th. Okay. So let me share this one with you. Now, this is another one that was done on December 30th. Same place, the Sports Gambling Podcast. Okay. So here we go. And they have number 1 is number 8 again is Orlando. Number 7, the Brahmas. Number 6, the Defenders. Number 5, the Vipers. Number 4, the Roughnecks. Number 3, the Arlington Renegades. Number 2, the Battlehawks.
Well, what? Oh, is that, are you saying this because of that, dude? Like, for real?
It's amazing on how fast the draft can change your power rankings, isn't it not? Isn't it not? Look, I got the rosters here pulled up, right? And again, I love I'm going to take another little jab, Arlington.
Are all of them featured now on XFL.com?
Yeah, every single one of them is. And we're going to start with Kincaid's team. If you notice, Arlington, what's that say underneath the Sea Dragons? Anchored in greatness. No, I'll just leave it at that. But anyways, look at the quarterback they have, Ben DiNucci. Right, and listen, I'm loving Ben DiNucci. Loving this dude. He's already called out Arlington. He's already called out the Renegades, saying we're going to walk in there and smack them. Right, I'm loving it. I love Ben DiNucci talking his trash. You know, he's like, you guys should have drafted me because I got my upside down backwards D on, and you guys didn't because my whole brand is Dallas. and you guys screwed me over. So now I'm going to
You
come
know
in.
how bad that sounds coming out of your mouth?
What?
You know how bad that sounded coming out of your mouth? You saying that?
What
You
is
sounded like an 11-year-old kid trying to talk trash to some grown men.
I know, right? Look, Flame Wingman, Dirty says the Sea Dragons. He better look out for the Vipers and the Roughnecks because Silver knows that air raid offense AJ Smith runs. Listen, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just going by what I see here on players. And look.
And not to mention that I know you as you're going through that roster right now.
Right there, Rashad
Brian
Davis.
Scott.
Yeah.
He got drafted.
Yeah. Look, Blake Jack, I mean, dude. Now, again, they said they only want to keep
it's something
so
that
many
they
players.
can work with, definitely, man. Like, listen, like, I know we sit here all the time, we talk crazy about, certain teams because of logos and whatnot, but I'm really interested to see what kind of mindset these offensive coordinators have planning for the season coming for the XFL. Like, what is the offensive mindsets? Because you can get really wild and crazy in the XFL, and it can be a good thing.
Definitely can. Now, you're speaking of wild and crazy. I mean, think about it: Ben DiNucci and Josh Gordon. I mean, Kincaid. Well, I mean,
it's a good tandem. Don't get me wrong.
What do you think of that one?
Well, even I mean, well, I'm gonna be honest. I mean, DiNucci definitely has like, well, dang. I mean, that is gonna be a good duo. I mean, like, so you just have to think about it too, man. It's like, dang, I'm just curious to see what offensive system they're gonna run. With the Sea Dragons, like what their scheme's gonna be. Because if they do like something kind of like the Rams, like the Hawks, like the West Coast hybrid type of offense, that would be deadly, especially with the DiNucci throwing the ball. I mean, because that's a QB-friendly offense. So that's something they should probably look into if I were the Sea Dragons in terms of scheme fits and stuff, Luckily, the Seahawks, they use a West Coast system, So if they want to take some nuggets, take some key information, they have to look at Seattle, to kind of, not like copy the offense, kind of just mimic some of the stuff that they do in terms of, getting people open, motion sweeps, jet sweeps. I mean, you can do a lot with that system, You can keep adding to it, too. And that's one of the things that people don't know about the West Coast offense is that it's evolving every year. So, and think about it. This started with Bill Walsh with the 49ers, and it's definitely evolved for years, So you can add little things, to kind of make it cool, make it unique and stuff, I love what Shanahan's doing, I mean, like I said, if you're going to go with this offense, look at the teams that run it, see what they do and just kind of incorporate that into your game because you're going to make it hell for the defense, especially.
Oh, here you go.
It's going.
Charleston Rambo with Gordon in the run shoot is going to be a good tandem. You're absolutely right. That's going to be scary. Now, look, I think what Flame Wingman says there, I think that Seattle is going to use more of a run and go, a run and shoot type of offense.
That would
West
too.
Coast type run and shoot. I'm looking at Arlington. We've kind of, or the Renahawks. We've kind of seen this game planned already. It's run, pass, run, pass, run, pass. I think that's what the Renegades are going to be set up to do. I think they're going to be a run offense.
I mean, considering that they got two offensive coordinators, and a lot of the time it was
run, pass, run, pass.
Right.
It's supposed to have been run it up, Chuck, and you know how that
shake it up, Chuck.
Or shake it up, Chuck, and he never did.
Right.
It was it literally was a Marty Ball type offense. Run, pass, run, pass.
It really was.
Okay, now we'll go deep. Speaking of that offense, now there's rumors going around saying that Jordan Ta'amu is going to return to the XFL. Right now, as of late, nothing has been set in stone, and there's a good chance he could be. But right now, he's labeled with the Memphis Showboats.
That is true.
That's where he is right now. So I know somebody had mentioned about Jordan Ta'amu and was he drafted? No, he wasn't drafted. He wasn't going to be drafted. If anything, he was going to get assigned like Brian Scott with the Vegas Vipers, which was a big big move from the USFL to the XFL. You know, a lot of people have been high on Brian Scott going to the XFL, and then when they announced it, his assignment, you know, it's pretty big for Vegas. You know what I mean?
Now I'm looking at the DC roster, right?
Mm-hmm.
The DC Ronas
with Derek King, man.
Yeah, but what kind of the DC Ronas, the DC Defend Ronas? What kind of offense do you think they're going to have? I mean, this looks more like a run first type offense. Also, again,
and thinking about mobile quarterbacks utilizing him, you know, like they do in Baltimore with Lamar Jackson, something similar to that nature.
Again, a run first offense.
Yeah, they're under Greg Roman, and Greg Roman coached up Kaepernick and some other players. That's definitely something to look at. You know, DC,
right?
You know,
come on, the option ain't there. Take off running, my dude. You know what I'm saying? So,
right, yeah.
I love love running the ball.
Right. So then you got the Roughnecks with their roster, and as of right now, if you look at all these rosters, they're between 60 to 70 players. Each roster is, right. I mean, listen, you have. Right, yeah. I mean, look, the Roughnecks, they have the mayor's favorite guy, Brandon Silvers.
Now, listen, a lot of people are saying he's not going to take this serious. I think he is, because, you know, if he wants another shot at the big boys, he's going to need to bear down and get himself together, you know. So that way he can make some plays and make some happen, so he can get on an NFL roster. But one of the names that I saw that was a kind of surprise to me was, I think it was in round 1 with pick 6, Eli Rogers going to Orlando. And we got to remember, I think Rogers was playing.
Funny that you say that, Arlington, because guess what team I just pulled up?
Say what?
Orlando. I pulled up the Orlando Guardians roster.
Let's see those quarterbacks again.
Right as you said it.
Let's see those quarterbacks again, man.
Look, I think,
because they got to throw the ball to these guys.
Well, I mean, let's look at it. Ready? Let's look at their quarterbacks they have. Right here. Here's their quarterbacks. Mitch Kidd, DeAndre Francis, and Quentin. How do you say his name?
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot my guy from Florida State. I forgot my guy from Florida State was there. That's right. And Quentin Dormady. So yeah, okay. DeAndre Francois. Got it.
So and look, they have Dontez Bird, possibly one of the fastest receivers that was in the XFL.
There's my guy,
Cody Lattimore. You know, there's Rambo right there. So
Tommy Auger, that shout out to our guy Mike Lathrop over at Player 54. Got a chance to interview him. So seeing how that is going to play out with that group too.
Yeah, it's going to be. Now, Andrew said right here, or Wingman said, let's see. Maybe Tamu had a change of heart, or like the whole situation that the USFL did with releasing players all of a sudden. I mean, maybe not. Who knows? I mean, as of right now, there is something I am working on. I don't really want to talk about it just yet. There is some things I'm digging into just to kind of look at that can consist of players that had XFL stuff. This is one of those things I want to really look into first before I go all crazy on it.
Right.
You know, okay, we'll tell you later what it is. I know, right? But I want to look into it. Now, you go with the Brahmas. Look, with Pass, Russo. Man, the Brahmas got some good quarterbacks, right?
They're all in on Russo. I think they'll be all in.
Yes, they are.
Russo. Let me say that. I'm not. I'm making a guess. I'm not saying that this is going to happen, but I'm making a total guess that they're going to be all in on Russo. Because think about it.
I agree with you.
Like in 2020, Dirty, when we saw the Battlehawks, we told Jordan Ta'amu then to his face, they're going to love you in St. Louis. That they were going to love him. And soon enough, just, that baby face, 22, 23 years of age, young quarterback, and leading the charge in St. Louis, that was everything. And I think the same thing's going to happen with Russo in San Antonio. Like, people going to love him, And so, like, I'm wondering what teams, though. This is my thing. I'm wondering what teams is going to employ the two quarterback thing, because that's what, like, in the NFL, what Houston was doing a little bit with Davis Mills and Crank. They were trying to employ two different quarterbacks during different plays. Like, I want to see who would do that because, like I said, the XFL, the offense can be crazy, and you can do it up however you want, to get points on the board.
If there is one team, I'll go first, Kincaid, then I'll let you go. If there is one team that I think is going to implement the two quarterback system, I think it's going to be Vegas. I think it's going to be Vegas.
So dance right out of my mouth.
No, Michael Lathrop says the Roughnecks. Why are you pointing at me? Why are you pointing at me?
Your team is going to do that.
You think so? The Battlehawks?
Yes. There are going to be times where it's going to be McCarron, and it's going to be times there's going to be Willis taking the reins.
It could be.
That does sound like a.
That I'm telling you.
Yeah.
That's what's going to wind up happening. It's going to be the Battlehawks.
I don't know.
You got a mobile quarterback and you got a pocket passer. There's going to be plays where they're going to have set up for him, and they're going to have plays where they're going to set up for Willis.
He's saying the Roughnecks
with Dalton. What's his name? Dalton
and Silvers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you would if rumors are true. If rumors are true,
sir. I think it's going to be Willis and McCarron, man.
Yeah, because I mean, like right here, what Flame Wing says is they got the Brian Scott also, right? So you have Perez, because think about it, Perez has already did it. Perez has already did that two quarterback offense, right?
He did it in the USFL, that's right.
He did it in the USFL. So if anybody's going to have the most experience with it, it is going to be Luis Perez. So that's why I'm saying Vegas. Listen, Brian, I know you want to be all in with the Brahmas, but like Arlington said, I think the Brahmas are going to be sticking with Russo. I think they're going to stick with Russo. That's just my opinion.
But don't get me wrong, though. I would not mind seeing all 8 teams using two quarterbacks for games like that.
Make it like a trend.
Yeah. You got to understand, man, it's different. And I know that very few teams employ two quarterback systems in the NFL right now, right? So this is the opportunity where you can use those 8 teams in the XFL, because at some point you're going to want to know who's quarterback number one. And I'll say in these first 5 weeks, you utilize them both. That's just my opinion on that. Because you want to see who's the best of the two. But if you're able to make it work with the two quarterbacks, go for that.
Yeah.
I don't think Perez has anything to do with it, depending on if Perez wants to do that again. I don't think he's got anything to do that. Here we go. Here we go. I think we'll see them bringing back the Wildcat. I actually think the Wildcat could work in the XFL with the way the rules are set up and everything like that.
Yes, a lot of them have a lot of college football effect to them. If you get what I'm saying with that, you know what I mean? Like, we're seeing more college football rules in a professional league because 1 foot can stay in bounds, that type of thing. Play clocks are 35 seconds.
Yeah.
So a lot of college football rules being used in this could help offenses out a lot.
Yeah.
I know. What was it? What was 2020? 30 seconds or was it 25? Which one was it?
25.
30 seconds.
25.
It was 25.
25.
So, and it wasn't the clock didn't start until the ball to the rep put the ball down. So who
can pull off a
Philadelphia?
Philadelphia special?
See, that's the thing. That's the thing about these offenses, man. Like, imagine going for the 1, 2, or 3-point option, and you use that 3 points, the Philly special. That could work a lot of wonders, in a ball game.
Yeah. Well, did you? I mean, and like even with people like that, that Andy Reid tree, because he has a lot of those creative plays. To draw up, certain plays that work and stuff. I mean, there's the game yesterday with Chicago and the Lions. They had it was a weird formation. It was like an under center snap. The tight end took under center, and it was a toss back to the quarterback. He took off running, and I'm just like, man, we can see a lot of that in the XFL in terms of creativity and kind of just getting nifty with some of these formations and stuff. If you really watch how Andy draws up plays and stuff. Because Doug Peterson was in that tree too. That Philly special that came from a lot from the Andy Reid tree, getting creative with getting people open and stuff. We could definitely see a lot of that in the XFL. And especially if you have people willing to kind of get nifty with it and kind of get creative, to get open space. That could definitely work, especially with the 2-quarterback system. You have a runner, you can just toss it back. I mean, thinking about the Saints with Taysom Hill. They always get creative with him in terms of getting him in the position to just take off and just fly.
Kincaid, you might get fired again. That's Arlington's least favorite player. Look at his face. Look at him. He's all fired up at you now. Taysom Hill is a great player. You're all right, Kincaid. At least somebody else on this show has a little bit of intelligence.
He's protecting you now, Kincaid. That's what he's doing. He is protecting you. I cannot stand the sight of Taysom Hill. But my thing is
here you go. Double forward pass. Okay, Arlington, you started since you read it.
The double forward pass, I think it happened, maybe twice in 2020?
Mm-hmm.
It's utilized as long as it's, was it behind the line of scrimmage?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then it can be utilized. So imagine a rollout, cross pass to a receiver, and the receiver sees one down the field and he decides to chuck it. Or even if you could use, and that's how you can use a 2-quarterback setup.
That's true.
But you gotta know. And then if he lines up and he can run, you utilize him as a quarterback. He can take off running if you give him the ball. See, that's what I'm saying. It's so many crazy options here. Like if you put a second quarterback out there and he can run, throw the ball to him and he'll take off running. Or he can chuck it up the field. You know what I mean? And you could get a big play out of that. It could be a crazy play. Like there's so many crazy options on offense to utilize in the XFL. Like I almost wanted to a point where I think that was what game was that? Was that NFL 2K that you could create your own plays, create your own plays and stuff like that?
Yep. Yeah, for 2K.
Like when the XFL gets some success, right? And you could and they get the video game out, I guarantee you they make a play editor, people are going berserk off of that.
Well, they're kind of already doing it on Madden with I think called The Yard. The Yard is
really? Oh, for real? Yeah. See, that's the thing. I ain't played Madden in years, man. Hey, so they got The Yard. Okay.
Listen, check out fans, go on YouTube, check out The Yard. What you're talking about right now, probably what you mean too. A lot of double passes and stuff, getting people down the field. A lot of throwbacks, a lot of laterals and stuff. So definitely check that out because I think that's what you're talking about. That kind of reminds me of The Yard a lot in terms of what that is.
A team I would love to see use that, like you guys were saying.
Yeah.
And you could kind of throw the whole Wildcat type system in that. Would be the Brahmas with pass and those guys. You could do that Wildcat type offense, take the hike and then have the other quarterback sitting there and then double pass it to him and then boom, down the field. So that'd be really interesting to see how that works.
Like when the league's getting ready to begin and game plans are starting to come together, like I want to see what the mindsets are for these offenses. I know defense is big and whatnot in football, but I'm more contemplating on the offense because that's what we like. we like points on the board. You like scores and big significant plays. Where it can change the dynamic of a game. I want to see how offensive coordinators utilize those type systems in the XFL, and like working with those quarterbacks and receivers and running backs, like having them all in the meeting. Like I'm sitting there just like dreaming about it now. Like if I was in that meeting, like how I would drum it up. And like you said, Kincaid, the yard, I would literally almost give the power to them to say, how would y'all like to see our offense ran?
I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, you never know. They might even contact some people who made the yard and see, how did you come up with this? How do you expect, the XFL to run their offenses?
And that is the crazy thing. I know you talked about like fan control football, USFL, fan control, I think it was your call football where they pick the plays and stuff and, put it out there. My thing is, I think there should be, not from a fan standpoint, but from a player standpoint, this is how we want our team to be correlated, working with it, not saying we demand or anything like that, but they work as a cohesive unit. Because I think with that, it could potentially, it's like, hey, I'd rather stay in the XFL than kind of play in the NFL. I know it sounds crazy. It sounds crazy. But if you're getting a lot of power to kind of work with players like that type of thing, it could potentially lead to, hey, you come over here to the XFL, you'll have a better chance of working with a cohesive unit and working out plays that will make it and beneficial to helping you potentially win games and potentially a championship. You see what I'm saying? Like, it kind of rolls off that way. That's how I would love to see that happen in 2023. I would love to do that, even if they don't do it this season, maybe next. But, a lot of players, they're going to want to try and go and play in the NFL regardless. So, because of play. Case in point, KaVontae Turpin. A lot of people are going to utilize him as the standard of what just transpired over this last year.
Yep.
They're looking at him now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, others have made the jump, but KaVontae Turpin is probably right now the only alternative football player to get the Pro Bowl the last 3-4 years or so. I'm going back to our Charlie's League in 2019 out of the alternative football. In those last 4 or 5 years, Turpin has probably been the biggest because they completed the season. He was MVP and boom, get on the Dallas Cowboys, and now he's Pro Bowl return. So a lot of people will be looking at him for inspiration. All right. You got anything else, Dirty? Because we ran over, man. We're running over again. It happens. It happens often.
Oh, man. Giving some good ideas, good content and stuff, man. Talking about it. But this has been fun, man. 100%.
Yeah, man. It's been crazy. And like talking about how.
But hold on. So let's look at something real quick.
Okay. What are you checking out? Some of my screen, man. Like I got you go like really, 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 really slow.
Yeah, it's glitching for me too.
Yeah, he glitching. Are you okay, buddy? As he's getting his thoughts together, this show is sponsored by the Teal Alpaca. If you're looking for XFL inspired things to come together, hey, make sure you go to the Teal Alpaca on Facebook, as you can see down there at the bottom. And of course, you can follow all of our channels on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and you can go to our Pro Football Alliance Facebook and YouTube channels. All right, dude, what is going on with your screen, man? It is like totally off. Like you been sitting there doing like this the whole time.
Yeah.
Nothing. I'm just waiting for you.
Hey, something's up with your screen though. He said, I think Hines Ward and his staff are going to want to use every player to their fullest potential. I think we'll see some very interesting plays not seen in college or the NFL. I agree with that.
Yeah,
I hope to see it. You know what I mean?
especially with Hines Ward, man. Hines Ward was a bad boy back in the day. So, and they know that he has that mentality of wanting the best and stuff. So I like that.
And a lot of these men, these are their very first times as head coaches of teams.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be interesting to see how all of that is portrayed coming 2023. And, I know they don't want to fall flat on their face to do it, but somebody's gonna have to win and somebody's gonna have to lose. And I know a lot of times they're gonna face a lot of criticism of some of the things that they do, like kind of like in Houston with the Texans right now. Like, even though they're not doing so well, they have competed, and that's what I hope that teams that don't do great in the XFL. Come on, man, let's just be real with ourselves. Every team is not going to be great, so you want to see them continuously competing. You want to put the best people out on the field. You want to put the best team to compete with, and that's what I'm hoping. That's what it's going to be for all 8 teams. That everybody competes, and one is not going to be stronger than the other. I don't think there are going to be any undefeated seasons to look at, like it was going to be in 2020. Like, people forgot Roughnecks looking like they were going to go 10-0 and then just go monsters in the playoffs. But we lost dirty, man. I'm like, I knew something was wrong.
Yeah.
I knew something was wrong with his stuff, man. Trying to act like it wasn't nothing wrong, man. Because what he don't know is I can end the show in a heartbeat. I mean, he could too, honestly.
Yeah,
I hope he come back because I need him to close out. I want him to close out the show. That's kind of what we do. But if he does it, then we're out of here. But yeah, shout out to all those that were drafted in the supplemental draft. Those that did not pick, because one of the players that I wanted to see either assigned or drafted was David Pendell from the University of Connecticut. I think he had some time over in the Fan Control Football League, and then he had a look. I think he had some time in the CFL too. And I think European League of Football, he was out there as well. And good quarter. I mean, he's a good quarterback, man, like a mobile guy. And, I wanted to see him, make some dynamic plays. And I think the XFL would be the perfect place for him. Perfect place.
I agree.
Brian said he would love to see Dan Marino. What is he doing these days? Marino's not doing anything, because I don't think Marino's doing the NFL today anymore. Come over to the XFL in the future and do broadcasts or even coaching staff. That'd be interesting. If Miami get a team, see if he want to be a part of that.
Yeah, 100%.
Now, what's crazy? Now, check this out, Kid K.
Yeah.
If there was going to be a Brahmas team, I thought it would be in Miami.
The Brahmas.
It fits. You know what I'm saying? It fits more than San Antonio. No disrespect, San Antonio. Listen.
The Bahama Brahmas. That's a ring.
Or Miami Brahmas, man. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the Rock. That's the Rock all day, every day. But San Antonio's got him. They've embraced them. We're embracing them here in the league. But, just if they were going to have a team in Miami, that would have been a cool name for that.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. No question. But at this rate, it's like, it'll be interesting to see what comes out, what drops within these next few weeks. Like, the XFL is doing everything they can right now to get everything together for February 18th. Still seeing the promos out there. Granted, they might have been the same ones, but they're still putting their name out there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so and they know more than we do, for sure. They know when they're going to drop things and when the public will know what's going on. Right now, you can go to the XFL shop and get you a new hat.
I definitely need to get myself one of them.
Get you some gear, man. As we drawing closer, those jerseys are going to be dropping soon too, and so it's going to take time. Cookies already been baking, slow baking at 200 degrees,
Oh,
and they steadily cooking. They taking their sweet time with it, and that's all there is. That's all we can do at this point, you know. So, KK, thank you, man. Thank you for dropping in as always, and you do an amazing job, man. I'm glad to have you on board.
100%, 100%.
Yeah, and then one day we'll get Dirty back. Maybe we'll get him on tomorrow's show, on the B-Hawk Live show, or we'll get him back on Thursday for sure. So we about to wrap things up because I don't think he's coming back.
I feel you, man.
And we are 11 minutes over, so we supposed to been gone.
Yeah.
So for just a little while, this is the A Train. This is SKK. Dirty.
Catch y'all.
We'll see you on Wednesday and Thursday night, man. Wednesday and Thursday, I should say, for another edition. Yeah, he went to go get some hot water, champ, for sure. Catch you for another edition of the X-Fan Show, Afternoon Delight. Happy New Year to every one of you. Definitely want to see you again on Thursday's show. I'll be there. I might pop in on Wednesday night, too. Stay tuned. All right? This is the X-Fan Show. See y'all later.